Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, Bracha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Greatmillstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And Lord willing, this will be a pretty quick and straightforward lesson, and it's a bit of a response to the live stream that the elder apostle Orion Lob had done this morning. I was able to catch a bit of it, and he was basically going into how he was watching this video of this this woman you had ranting or venting on some social media platform, and basically she was complaining about the hardships of living here in America. I haven't watched the video, but from what he said, about how she's working all these jobs and it's just not enough. And something that he said, I forgot exactly how he said it, but it gave me the thought of what I titled this lesson, which is, what are you going to do when it's gone? And what I mean by that is, when you look at society today, one of the main things that people resort to is social media, okay, which is for everything. So if they go through something, something bad happens to them, they go through whatever it is, almost like the first thing they do is social media. They jump on either TikTok, they jump on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, whatever, to broadcast whatever situation they're going through. Or they'll create like a GoFundMe page or something like that to get help from people, right? But the main thing you'll hear is, that's why you see a lot of videos nowadays of people on, once again, social media, just like venting about how hard life is, or giving their story of how they're working, or like the woman who was doing that lesson. And in some cases you may have people that'll say, oh, they feel bad and they try to help or whatever it is. But nowadays, like the elder was making the point in the video, which is, people don't think of solutions to their problems anymore. Like, they don't, and some of them maybe they can't, and some of them they just don't. They've been conditioned in society today to where they don't want to think of a solution to their own problems. They would rather just go on social media and just vent to the world that, hey, this is what I'm going through, this is what's happening. But that's not going to change your problems. I mean, like I said, they'll try to set up some GoFundMe page or something like that to maybe get some help. But in the times we're coming into, when you're not going to have this avenue to express your grief or your stress towards others, or to gain their opinions or their thoughts or even their sympathy, when these avenues are shut down, people are going to need to think and fend for themselves. And that's like the crux of this whole video, which is that living in Babylon, and really the modern world today, has taken away that ability for the average individual to be able to think for themselves. And when I say that, I mean think reasonably, think resourcefully, right? A lot of people today are not resourceful. They don't know how to exhaust their options. They don't know how to, engage in critical thinking and try to find solutions to their problems. Because society today teaches you to, just let it be. It's all right. Your problems ain't really your problems. I mean, if it is, just it is what it is. But we're coming into the times when you can't have that "it is what it is" mindset, because this isn't a Disney movie. This isn't a fairy tale movie. No knight in shining armor is gonna come right at the last minute and come and deliver you. If you don't have Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, you're not gaining any deliverance. And there's no special treatment. There's no assistance. None of that is coming. Okay, and people are starting to realize that, look, if you're in hardship, more than likely the person you're going to ask for help is also in some difficulty, right? Because everybody is being affected. So if you think, oh, this is going terrible for me, I'm just gonna go to my parents or go to my family members or my neighbors or my friends, neighbors, caution on that, but my friends, and try to get some help, chances are they're also being affected by the same thing that's affecting you. And it may not be as bad for them, but it will be if they try to take care of you in addition. They may be able to help you out a little bit, you know, for a little bit of time here and there, but it's not going to be sustainable, and it's not going to be, you know, an efficient means of living. And now, as things are getting more and more difficult, people are going to start to realize that that whole, you know, being put on a pedestal, the whole lavish living, that's not cutting it anymore. You know, people are now starting to get to the point where they're like, yo, shit is getting hard. You know, it's getting tight out here, and you need help. And that's why you have these videos that are out here like this, where people are starting to realize, particularly women as well, because look, when the scriptures tell you that the woman is the weaker vessel, okay? So when there's hardships in society, if it's hard for men, it's harder for women, okay? Because typically societal hardships are, you know, things that affect everybody, okay? But the reason, the whole concept of, like, you know, you may think about the man would be the one who goes out and works and does all the hardships and brings it home, and the woman is more of the nurturer, that stems from reality. But once again, the delusions of this society have taught you that no, that's not the case. You know, you can go out and do it too. And so you go and try it, and then you realize, oh shit, this is not fun. You know, I don't want to do this anymore. But, you know, reality is going to tell you otherwise. Okay, now I was watching a video earlier this morning that the elder I put in our group chat, and it was basically like, I think it was 10 like 10 talking points or things to prepare for if there was like a long-term blackout. And, you know, as I'm watching the video, the guy is going through basic things, you know, like sewage being backed up, not having clean and running water, not having access to food, you know, not having access to electricity, of course, you know, and all sorts of different things, like cold, you know, like these kinds of things that you kind of take for granted because, you know, you use it every day. Not having access to these things, and actually how difficult it would be to have a you know, a reasonable supply of these things. Okay, and as I'm listening to it, I'm like, damn, the scriptures, that's why the scriptures say it's going to be a time like never before, right? Because not only, like, if the hardships that are coming were brought upon a society that was back in the ancient world where people were tougher and smarter and more resourceful, even they would have trouble and hardships enduring that kind of difficulty. But we're in a society now where even the most basic, trivial problems are a big deal because people are not equipped to handle and solve. America's not raising problem solvers. People are they've gone into the habit of, they don't want to understand how things work. They just want to know how to use it so they can just keep on, you know, just keep on using it. You know, that's it. They don't want to care about, okay, so if this actually stopped working, or, you know, if I needed to know how this worked, would I be able to? They don't care about that. If it's broken, just fix it for me. Don't teach me how to fix it so next time maybe I can fix it myself. No, you fix it for me. I'm going to come and pay you money. You come fix it for me. And what does that create? It creates dependencies. Now, anytime it breaks, you're dependent on this person to come and fix it for you. And what happens when the person is not there? Then you stuck. You screwed. So America's not raising problem solvers. They're raising useless eaters. People that don't think. And eventually they don't think for so long they forget how it works. and then you tell them something basic and they're like, oh wow, that's such a bright idea. No, it's a regular common sense idea, but you haven't used common sense in a while, so it feels like a bright idea. But because everybody else, for the most part, in society is sort of like under that spell, it seems like it's normal. If you let's say you moved to some region of the world where they were actually on it, you know, they were on point, you would realize just how much you lack. And because everybody around you is constantly, you know, on such a higher level, it'll eventually force you to improve. But when you're surrounded by people who are just, you know, I'm not saying this is for everybody, but just, you know, for this use case, you're surrounded by people that are just as docile as you, then you don't really see yourself as being docile. And if you don't see yourself as being docile, you won't see the fact that you need to have certain skills until you're put in a situation where you're like, oh shoot, I don't know what to do in this situation. And that's when people are gonna bug out. They're gonna panic. Okay? They're gonna lose it over the slightest inconvenience. So how much more for when all hell breaks loose? Not some hell, not a quarter of hell, not an inch or a pint or a dash, but all hell breaks loose. You're worried about your living conditions now. What are you gonna do when there's a blackout? What are you gonna do when there's food scarcity? Because these trucks, a lot of people don't even know how the food gets into their supermarkets. They think that you take a loaf of bread off the shelf, you turn around, and then poof, it just respawns. Then you come back again the next week. Oh shit, it's back. Okay, let me respawn. And then you come back next week, it's not there. Oh, maybe it's lagging. Maybe the servers are down. Maybe it's gonna take a while before the shelf magically cooks it up again. And yet they drive past these trucks every day or every couple of days that literally say the brand of what it is they're gonna go buy at the supermarket. Sometimes they see the stuff being unloaded into the market, but it never really clicks in their minds to say, oh, so that's probably how the food, okay, so if this is happening and these trucks can't get here, then that's kind of bad news for me, right? Nope. Once again, they don't care how things work. They just want it to work, and that's the end of the story. And if you don't care how things work and you don't want to be informed about reality, guess what? You're going to be left in the dark. Quite literally, when that actually happens, you're going to be left in the dark. And when that happens, well, we all know how pandemonium and chaos can ensue. All right, but I'm at my destination. So pretty much the point that I wanted to make is that, in this society, like as I was watching that video, it just highlighted more and more of the fact that all people do now, for the most part, is just, jump on social media to complain about their problems, But in terms of actually thinking of a solution to it, or thinking of, how to go about, fixing it or being resourceful, exhausting their options, they don't know how to do that. So when that time comes, a lot of people are going to be in for hell, one hell of a ride. But anyway, like I said, I'm here, Lord willing, that was edifying and informative to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, RACHA QUDASH. And until next time, Shalom.